Let me start by asking a simple question. What would you do if you had to start from absolutely nothing? I mean, no money, no connections, no safety net, just you. You see, when people say they're at zero, they usually mean they've hit rock bottom. But today I want to challenge that idea. What if zero isn't the end, but the most powerful place to begin? Let's talk about how to create abundance from zero. Not just money, but abundance of opportunities, freedom, time, and self-worth. Hey, welcome everybody. This is MiltonCraft and Man on a Mission. So excited to have you here with me today. Today I want to talk about creating some abundance from zero. Now I want to talk about what that really is and what that really means. So today we're going to do a type of Q&A, type of writing, asking questions, just interacting with each other to kind of get us an idea of where we are and where we need to be. So I'm going to go through, I think, 4 or 5 different tips I think we need to look at and to consider that are really important in helping us to understand how we can move from zero to abundance. So get some paper, get a pencil, get you something to drink. We're going to get started and we're going to talk about this today. Now, many of us have always been taught to fear zero. $0, zero support, zero option. But here's the truth. Zero is potential. Zero is a clean state. Zero is power waiting to be activated. Now, when you have nothing, you also have nothing to lose. You're free to be bold. You're free to start fresh, to build something that's truly yours. And remember, your zero is not your identity. It's your launching pad. It's where you can spring into something new. So when you hear about zero, what do you think? Some people say zero is not emptiness. Zero is potential. Zero is freedom. Zero is the moment before creation begins. Now you see, when you're at zero, you're no longer trapped by what you used to be. You're free to become what you're meant to be. Let me say that again. You're no longer trapped by what you used to be. You're free to become what you're meant to be. Zero is not void. It's the beginning. It's not failure. It's freedom from your old stories. Now, I want you to get that piece of paper, and I'm going to ask you a few questions. I want you to write them down and be honest with yourself. Now, the first question I want to ask you is, describe a time when you felt like you were at zero. Describe a time when you felt like you were at zero. Write it down, be honest with yourself, and then answer the question with, what did you learn from that experience? First, describe a time when you felt like you were at zero. Second, what did you learn from that experience? What do you usually associate with zero? How can starting from zero actually be an advantage? So the questions are, describe a time when you felt like you were at zero. What did you learn from that experience? And what do you usually associate with zero? And how can starting from zero actually be an advantage? I think if you start to answer those questions, it can start to give you a new perspective on zero, what it means to be at zero. It's not all about finance. Sometimes it's about connection. Sometimes it's about advantages. It's different for everyone. But start by answering those 4 questions, and then you can begin to understand, am I at zero, and what does zero really mean to me? Once you've answered those questions, you have to change really your mindset into an abundance mindset. I mean, the real shift begins in your mind, not in your wallet. Zero is not always associated with your wallet. Abundance isn't a blank check. It's how you think and how you believe. Abundance isn't a blank check. It's a belief system. How you think, what you believe. I'm going to give you 3 things I think you can use to start. The first is gratitude. Yeah, it sounds simple. Gratitude. Start each day by finding something that you're thankful for, even if it's just waking up and breathing. Gratitude will open your mind up to what's possible, not just what's missing. The possibilities are limitless when it comes to gratitude. Number 2, possibility thinking. Instead of saying I can't afford it, ask how can I afford it? Instead of I don't know anyone, say who can I connect with today? You kind of see how you're working with your mindset, your thought processes. And daily affirmations is the third one. Your words, whether you believe it or not, do shape your reality. Your words are very powerful and they have so much meaning and so much input into your daily life. Say things like, I create value everywhere I go. Abundance is coming to me because I'm ready to receive it. All in what you say and how you think. This isn't just feel-good talk. This is mental training. Your abundance doesn't begin with your money. It doesn't begin with a dollar. It begins with a decision that you choose to make. A decision to see you do have instead of what you lack. To see what you do have instead of what you lack. A decision to believe that what's inside of you is more powerful than anything that's outside of you. Now, you may not have the money yet. You may not have the network. But you have the greatest asset of all. And you know what that is? That's you. Your creativity, your voice, your ability to learn, your story, your resilience, your time. You have all of those things that are working for you, that are on your side. Let me be clear. Those are not currencies. And they are enough to start building abundance right now. Abundance is internal. It's a way of thinking. You don't wait for it. You generate it. So let's start with another activity. I want you to write this down. I want you to start writing down. I want you to take a piece of paper, write down what are some of the limiting beliefs that you have. And those limiting beliefs, I want you the opposite of that. Write down what are some abundance beliefs that you can have to go with those. Example, a limiting belief is I don't have enough time. What can I do different to say that? I prioritize what matters. I am broke. How do I change that? I'm resourceful in building something new. Start writing a few of those down so you can kind of hear how your thinking process is and begin figuring out how am I going to change that. So when you finish, ask yourself a couple questions. What belief did you flip? How did you feel to say something new out loud? What belief are you ready to retire today and not use anymore? One of the things that we always have to be mindful of, use what you have. Even if you think it's nothing, use what you have. Let me tell you something you do have. You have time. You have energy. You have attention. You have the ability to learn. You have your voice. You have your story. Use what you have. These are not small things. These are your currencies. Currencies that can be exchanged for opportunity, growth, and eventually income. All those things you can use to make you money, to make you successful. The great Arthur Ashe said, start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. That is so important. Whether it's offering a skill, creating content, helping someone for free to build trust. You have to just start. Value creation is a seed of abundance. Abundance is not something we chase, remember. It's something we tune into, something that's inside of us. You don't have to train your mind to see possibilities where others see dead ends. You shift from this, I don't have enough, to what can I create with what I have? I can't, to how can I? I'm stuck, to this is my turning point. Say it with me. I already have what I need to begin. Say it again. I already have what I need to begin. You already have more than you think. Skills, time, knowledge, network, and energy. Now I want to do an exercise. List 5 things you have right now that could be used to build your abundance. List 5 things that you have right now that can be used to build your abundance. You're sitting there thinking, I don't have 5 things. Yes, you do. Skills, relationships, tools, traits. What are those 5 things that you have right now that you can use to help build your abundance? And when you get through, I want you to evaluate your list and ask yourself a question. What are some of the things on that list that surprise you? And how can one of these things create value for others? Think about what you wrote and answer those questions. One of the biggest things that we have to remember is abundance doesn't always show up when you wait for it. It shows up when you move towards it. It doesn't show up while you're waiting for it. It shows up when you move towards it. I'm going to give you a 3-step plan that you can take today. 1, create a simple goal. Something small but clear. Create a simple goal. If you could offer you one free service this week, what would that simple goal be? 2, share it. Tell somebody about it. Post it. Say it out loud. You got to make it real somehow. And the third thing, follow through. No matter what, follow through. Most people don't fail because they can't. They fail because they stop. Remember, you don't need a great plan. You just need one clear step that you can repeat daily. You don't need a business plan or a plan that's just abundantly great. You just need one step that you can start repeating daily. You create a vision of the life you want to live. You declare it. You write it down. You speak it out loud. Not someday, not maybe, not if I'm lucky, but it's like I already have it and it's on the way. And then you move. You take that one step. Then you take another step and another. Because your abundance doesn't come from big leaps, it comes from being consistent and stepping in the right direction. Abundance shows up now when we combine belief with our movement. Vision is your compass. Action is your fuel. Vision is your compass. Action is your fuel. So I'm going to do one more exercise with you. I want you to close your eyes. Visualize your future self 3 years from now living in that abundance. Visualize your future self 3 years from now. Let's just do a year from now. Living in abundance. Where are you? What are you doing? And what does your daily life look like? Think about that for a second. Then I want you to write your vision statement. You can begin with, I am living abundantly. I am living abundantly. And write down what that vision statement is. Describe your life in your present tense. I am living abundantly. Write that down. And then ask yourself, who is your future self? And what's one step you can take this week to move toward that? Answer those questions. And I think it'll help you to get started in the right direction when it comes to abundance. Now we have to take a little time to look at vision and self-belief. Vision and self-belief. Now, abundance becomes real when you can see it before it shows up. So close your eyes for a moment again. Visualize your future abundant life. What does it feel like? Where are you living? Who are you helping? How do you speak, walk, and think? Now, that version of you already exists. You just have to catch up with it. You're just not caught up with it yet. Now, I'm going to give you a tool that I think will help you. It's simple. I call it daily empowerment. It's the formula that I'll use each and every day. First thing, remember, one thing you're grateful for. The second thing, one affirmation about who you are. And the third, one action you'll take today to move towards your vision. Those are the daily empowerment formulas that I use. One thing you're grateful for, one affirmation about who you are, and one action that you will take today. That's it. Practice that every day and watch your mind shift. Watch your thought process shift. Watch everything starts to change. Your mindset is the biggest muscle that you have. And once you get a hold of that and grasp of that, abundance must be practiced daily. you will get it. You will receive that abundance daily. So, gratitude, affirmation, action. Let's practice. I want you to write down one thing that you're grateful for. I want you to write down one I am statement and one action that'll take place for you in the next 24 hours. That's the thing that you need to do to get your mindset in order to go forward to do what you need to do. So the biggest question of the day, what will change if you treat your zero as your breakthrough moment? What will change if you treat your zero as your breakthrough moment and not a moment of lack, not a moment of insufficiency, a breakthrough moment? What will change if you chose to do that? That was a lot of information, but I think it was a lot of great information. I think it's a great starting point for us when we want to talk about coming from zero to abundance. That's a lot of great information, a lot of things that we can put into practice, things that we can use each and every day that will help us to understand that zero is not the end. You don't need money to start. You don't need the right contacts, the right background or permission. You need vision. You need belief, and you need movement. You need vision, belief, and movement. So the next time you feel like you're at zero, remember, zero is not nothing. Zero is everything waiting to happen. Now you have to go create it. You can't wait until the conditions are perfect. Don't wait until you have more. Don't wait for permission. Because the truth is, you're never starting from zero. You're starting from you. And that is more than enough. So stop doubting yourself. Stop waiting. Start building. Because your abundance, it doesn't come from the outside. It starts with a single belief. I already have what I need in my life. Okay? I want you to remember that. Your abundance starting from zero is you starting to believe yourself from the inside out, to make those things come to pass, to make that come to light. And you have everything you need in order to do that. I wanted to come by and just take a moment to share those things today. They've been on my mind for a couple of days, and my first time doing it this way, and I hope it's effective, and I hope it helps someone. I hope it helps you to understand that you have abundance, and your zero is not zero. You have everything you need in order to be successful. So thanks for joining me here today on MiltonCraft, Man on a Mission. Talk to you soon.